Hello, welcome back to our new video for our trade setups for short-term traders. In this video, we'll talk about 10 different stocks about, including what happened on Tuesday, June 4, 2019. And this video is in preparation for the next trading day, not on Wednesday, but on Thursday. We have no trading day on Wednesday in observance or to observe the feast of Ramadan. Okay, so today I'll be talking about 10 different stocks. For the new subscribers, let me remind you that everything that I'm going to say in this video is for short-term trading purposes. If you are looking for some pieces of advice for long-term investing, please check this long-term investing tab, or you better ask inside our private clients forum. Okay, that has to be very clear. So for today, I'll be talking about FEN, FGEN, Now Corporation, Green, IRC, PLDT, Ayala Land, Jollibee Foods Corporation, Metrobank, and PXP. Okay, so aside from my technical analysis, you will hear my overall sentiment and recommendations or trade setups for these 10 stocks. We will begin with FEN. So FEN closed on Tuesday at 2.47. The acting support is positioned at 2.16. Let me zoom in on this chart so you will see, or so we can see, where is the psychological resistance of FEN. It is at the 161.8% extension of our up Fibonacci, and that is near 2.89, or we can say 2.9. FEN is also moving above its 10 SMA, and MACD is above the signal line. Therefore, the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo remain true. So we have one pair of a bullish or a buy signal on FEN. How about the 4-point criteria that we always check? Are they present? Let's find out. It's a green candlestick. Okay, true. It closed above its VWAP of 2.44. That's true. We are seeing a green volume bar that is higher, at least higher than its 50%, than the 50% of its 10-day volume average. I think it's already a few points shy from being equal to its 10-day volume average. How about the trade and volume distribution? We will find out. So the dominant range is between 2.43 to 2.5. That is in favor of the buyers. So we got the 10 SMA and MACD combo true. We also have all 4 points perfectly present on FEN. Therefore, we got a confirmation. We got a confirmation from the 4-point criteria that we are checking that FEN is truly has a bullish stance, especially last Tuesday. And I also got a confirmation of the strength of the upward momentum of FEN since its ADX has a score of 44 or 45 points. So that puts FEN in a very strong upward category level. Let's just be alert, especially those of you who may already have FEN in their portfolio, that the RSI score of FEN is just a few points away from touching the line inside or going to the classical overbought level. But if you have a trailing stop loss, you should be fine. You should not be worried at all as to where you should sell. If you have a trailing stop loss, you can take advantage of the maximum possible ascent in price of the stock. If you have a trailing stop loss, why? Because you will have to do an upward adjustment every time the price hits a higher note, so to say. And these adjustment that I'm saying is well explained with examples in our quick start guide. Okay, so always go back to the quick start guide when I say something that you're not quite familiar with. And just in case you won't find the answer in our quick start guide, you can ask in our private clients forum. And if you would like to know how to use the forum, it's also written in the quick start guide. Okay, so I am bullish on FEN. I am bullish on FEN. If you have FEN, you can either hold your position or you can top up within the dominant range that I've mentioned. If you don't have FEN, I think you still have a very attractive reward, potential reward than the potential risk. As always, before you enter a new position, you have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Yes, we have the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo true. Yes, all 4 points are perfectly present on FEN, but it should not be automatic that you should buy right away. You have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Because sometimes the stock is giving us uh, lots of bullish signals, but a possibility of a sell down might just happen by the next trading day. So we also have to be very careful and consider if the stock is already approaching its immediate resistance. So that's the purpose of calculating our reward to risk ratio before entering a new position on in any stock. So once you are happy with your reward to risk ratio, that's the time that you should consider doing a test buy within the dominant range that I mentioned a few seconds ago. All right. Next we have FGEN. So FGEN closed today at 23.5. Support is at 22.48. Let's find out where it's a historical resistance. This is still a historical resistance routing all the way to, let me show you, routing all the way to 2016, around September 2016. So the historical resistance is at 26 pesos per share, 26.10, if you would like to be very strict about it. So it's also moving above the signal line, no, above the 10 SMA, and its SMAs are aligned in a perfect bullish position also. The MACD line is also moving above the signal line, so therefore the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo are also true. How about the 4 points? Are they present? Let's check. A green candlestick, check. It closed above the VWAP of 23.42, check. We are seeing a green volume bar that is higher than its 10-day volume average, so check. Let's check now the trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range being it between 23.3 to 23.75. I would say it's in favor of the buyers also, so that's bullish. So we got a confirmation from the 4 points that we're checking also. And RSI is still quite distant from its classical overbought level, so that gives traders I think enough room to trade FGEN also, especially for the new entrants. On the DMI histogram, the positive DMI is above the negative DMI, but I guess, based on my estimate, once FGEN crosses above 24 pesos per share, that will put FGEN in it will put FGEN's upward momentum in a very strong category level. Okay, based on the DMI chart, because right now, even though the positive DMI is above the negative DMI, the ADX is still below 25 points. So that's not yet a confirmation that the upward momentum is in a very strong category or very strong level. Not yet. Nonetheless, overall sentiment is bullish on FGEN. I'd like to mention also that foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 44 million pesos today. And they have been consistently registering net foreign buying days for 5 days in a row. Five trading days in a row. So if you have had FGEN for short-term trading purposes, if you are already in FGEN, it's either you hold your position or you can still top up. When you top up, don't buy at any price. You buy within the dominant range that you've seen a while back from the trade and volume distribution chart. Same advice for those who are planning to enter a new position. You can do that, but first things first, calculate your reward to risk ratio. Your support is at 22.5, resistance is at 26.10. If you're happy with your reward to risk ratio, because by this, I would say that you have a thicker potential reward than a potential risk. as far as its support and resistance levels are concerned. So if you're happy with that, you can do a test buy on FGEN. All right, now corporation closed today at 2.74. Support is at 2.5, resistance is at 3.18. Okay, eyes on the board when it comes to calculating your reward to risk ratio. Okay, all right, now this price last Tuesday is above the 10 SMA. MACD is also moving above the signal line. We have bullish pair already. It's a green candlestick. Unfortunately, it did not close above its VWAP of 2.75. It's 1 centavo shy from, or yeah, 1 centavo shy from being equal to its VWAP. So that broke already the perfection of the 4-point criteria that we are checking. How about volume? Yeah, it's obviously a bullish volume last Tuesday. How about the trade in volume distribution chart? It's I see a neutral sentiment, not a bullish one, because it looks like almost every single transacted price point got a relatively significant amount of shares and number of trades. Okay, but the dominant range here is between 2.7 and 2.8. So nonetheless, I am neither bullish nor bearish on this trade and volume distribution chart of now. I would say that I'm neutral on the TVD chart of now. So what's my overall sentiment on Now Corporation? If you have had Now Corporation for short-term trading purposes since the 10 SMA and MACD combo became true let's see, last May 16, good for you. But I don't recommend topping up yet. Don't top up just yet because the 4-point criteria that we are monitoring are not all present. Okay, so don't top up yet. Hold your position if you already have this stock. But if you don't have Now Corporation, you can do a test buy, but do it conservatively. But if you have the patience and the time to monitor, I suggest that you monitor the price action within the first 3 to 5 minutes on Wednesday. If it starts at a price higher, let's go back to this one. If it starts at a price higher than 2.74, then consider positioning your test buy between 2.7 to 2.8 then. But if it starts at a price lower than 2.74 or lower than 2.70, don't buy just yet. Do another trade and volume distribution analysis if you know how to, so you can identify the the spot where it's best to monitor and catch Now Corporation. If you don't know how to do your own trade and volume distribution chart or analysis, you can ask for my assistance in our private clients forum. So that's my piece of advice for Now Corporation. Next, we have Green. Green closed today at 2.55. VWAP is at 2.51. So there you go. It's also moving above the 10 SMA and MACD is above the signal line. We got one bullish pair already. It's a green candlestick. It closed above the VWAP. We got a green uh, volume bar that is higher than its 10-day volume average. How about the trade and volume distribution chart? It's quite groggy as well. I am neither bullish nor bearish on Green's trade and volume distribution chart. I have a neutral sentiment on this chart that we're looking at right now. The dominant range, should we call it dominant? Because apparently it looks like everything here is dominant. Okay, so anyway, it's between 2.40, 2.45 to 2.55. Okay, or 2.45 to 2.5, and then you got 2.53 to 2.55. Okay, so there you go for green. So the 4-point criteria for the I am bullish on the first three criteria, but I'm neutral on the fourth one on the trade and volume distribution chart of green. So if you have had green since May 29 because that was the time when the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo became true. If you have had green since May 29, good. Don't top up yet until the 4 points become perfectly present, perfectly bullish on green. Okay? Once they are, then top up within the dominant range based on the new trade and volume distribution chart that you were able to generate. And if you don't know how to, you can ask me in our private clients forum. If you don't have green and are planning to have it on Thursday, same advice that I gave for the I would give the same advice that I gave for the previous talk. Monitor green within the first 3 to 5 minutes. If it starts at a price lower than 2.55, it's all the more that you should not hurry in entering a new position. Okay, enter a new position on green if it starts um, if it opens at a price higher than 2.55. Okay, if it opens at a price either equal or higher than 2.55, when that happens, you can do a test buy within uh, those two ranges that I've given you a few seconds ago. Okay, now if green starts at a price lower than 2.55, don't enter a new position yet. All right, so we got to be careful here. We have these criteria or these points that we are monitoring so we can maximize the potential earnings, the potential gains that we could get when we do short-term trading. That's the reason why we have these things that we need to check. We don't just uh, we don't just recklessly, immediately, instantly buy whenever we want to. We have to make sure that these parameters are present so they can take care of us, so that we don't risk, so that we don't buy too early, so that we don't sell too early as well. Okay? Okay, next we have IRC. IRC closed today at 1.89. It's moving above the 10 SMA. MACD is still moving above the signal line since May 9. Okay, since May 9. So if you have had IRC since May 9, congratulations, even though it's still, I would say it's moving in a consolidation phase right now. Okay, now how about the 4-point criteria? Are they present? Let's find out together. Okay, green candlestick, yes. Did it close above the view up of 1.88? Fortunately, yes. Do we see green bullish volume bar? Yes. And here you go. The trade and volume distribution chart. Luckily, it's also in favor of the buyers. The dominant range is between 1.87 to 1.91. So, for those of you who have IRC, you have a data-driven reason to top up within that dominant range. Within that range that got the biggest volume and the highest number of trades. And if you are planning to enter a new trade on IRC, you also have a data-driven reason to do so. Okay? Make sure that you know where your support and resistance is. Your current support is at 1.6. Current resistance is at 1.94. If it breaks above 1.94, that will make 2.19 as its or 2.20 as its next resistance level. Okay? Um, there you go. RSI is still quite distant. It's still away from the classical overbought level. So there's still more room for IRC to test the resistance at 1.94 all the way to 2.2. Okay. Next we have PLDT. What happened to this stock? Okay, it closed today, Tuesday, at 1,244 from its previous closing price of 1,358. So what happened? Was this caused by an ex-dividend date? No. I already checked on edge.psc.com.ph. There was no ex-dividend date last Tuesday. So what happened? What triggered PLDT to register this gap foreign investors? They registered a net foreign selling that is almost equal to half a billion pesos. To be precise, it's 437.81 million pesos worth of net foreign selling last Tuesday. And they were the ones who drove the price to go lower than its closing price. Mind you, this last price is already moving below the 10 SMA and below the 200-day SMA as well on the daily chart. So as far as this daily chart is concerned, it's technically bearish both in the short term and long term scale on the daily chart. Here's another bearish thing. There's a death cross registered on the MACD chart of PLDT on Tuesday. Also, the positive DMI is at the brink of registering a death cross below the negative DMI also. Alright, we are seeing a very tall red volume last Tuesday, and needless to say, PLDT closed below its VWAP of 1,254. There are no buy signals here. Okay, there are no buy signals here. I think if you have been trading PLDT for short-term trading purposes since March, if you were able to catch it last March, specifically around March 7, that was the day when the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo became true. Good job, but when it hit 1,244, I'm pretty sure, most of you may have already hit their trailing stop loss. That wasn't a bad thing. If you caught PLDT at this level near 1,000, then you sold above 1,240. That was a gain. Okay, that was a significant gain for you. So good job. So the only ones who could be problematic right now on PLDT are those who did not calculate their trailing stop loss. It's in our quick start guide. Okay, PLDT. Let me show you the trade and volume distribution chart. So this is it. It's in favor of the sellers. The dominant range is between 1244 all the way to 1265. 1244 to 1265 in favor of the sellers. So I'm not going to give any piece of advice for those who may still have PLDT, but just in case you're still holding onto your PLDT, please, by all means, follow your trailing stop loss. For those who are planning to enter a new position on PLDT for short-term trading purposes, don't. It's not yet the right time. There are no buy signals. There are no uh, everything else is a red flag on PLDT right now. So let it test its immediate support at 1,200 pesos per share. See if it will bounce away from this level, 1,200. If it does not bounce away, if it continues its downward momentum, then wait for it near 1,100. All the way to 1,000 then. Okay? Next, Ayala Land. Ayala Land closed today at 50.5. 50.5. Um, it's a it's still moving above the 10 SMA, and MACD is still moving above the signal line. Nonetheless, I would still recommend you that you should be strict with your trailing stop loss. Once it's hit, it's hit. You sell either everything or in tranches. Okay. Now, do we see a green candlestick? No. Did it close above the VWAP of 50.88? No. Do we see a green volume bar? No. Okay, how about the trade in volume distribution? Is it closer to the intraday high than the intraday low? No. Okay, the dominant range is between 50.5 to 51 in favor of the sellers. New entrants, don't enter a new position on Ayala Land yet. For those who may have had Ayala Land, it's either you hold your position if your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, or don't top up yet. Okay? Don't top up yet. Alright. By the way, foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 55 million pesos today, Tuesday. All right, next, Jollibee. Jollibee Foods Corporation, an index stock, closed today at 277 pesos per share. It's already moving below the 10 SMA. MACD is still above the signal line, however. Okay. Now, if you entered a new position on JFC last May 30, just May 30 or May 31st, just because that was the day when the conditions of my 10 SMA and MACD combo became true, please, by all means, follow your trailing stop loss. This is if in case JFC will continue to decline in price lower than 277 or maybe lower than 270, this would serve as an example that stocks don't always uh, fly to the moon. Let me just use that phrase. They don't always fly to the moon just because the conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combo have been satisfied. And that's the very reason why we need to have a trailing stop loss. Because sometimes, no matter how much data that you have used as a basis for your bullish assessment, sometimes the market will contradict that. Okay? So when the market contradicts your data-driven bullish assessment, you should still be alive, come out alive if you have a trailing stop loss. Why? Because your trailing stop loss will enable you not to risk a certain amount that is more than, higher than, greater than what you can only realistically stomach or handle. Okay? That's the reason why you have to use a trailing stop loss. All right, I hope that's super clear now. So let's check on JFC's trade and volume distribution chart. So it's obviously in favor of the sellers. The dominant range is between 277 to 278.6. Don't enter a new position yet. If you are in JFC already, strictly follow your trailing stop loss. And this advice is for short-term traders. If you have JFC for long term, this is not the advice for you. Okay? I just want to clarify that because sometimes when we see, oh, JFC, I have that one for long-term investing, and then you hear me say these things, and then you forgot that I said in my intro that this video is not for long-term investing. But you still decided to take that advice you decided to turn my short-term advice for your long-term action. No. So I have to remind you every now and then about this. Okay, so foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 77 million pesos on Tuesday. All right. Support is at 255.3, resistance is at 291.3. Okay? Don't enter a new position yet. If you are already inside JFC, or if JFC is already inside your portfolio, follow your trailing stop loss. Next, MBT Metro Bank closed today at 70.60. It's still holding on to its dear life on its support at that level also, 70.60. Resistance is at 75. If it breaks below 70.60, watch out for 64.95. Mind you, MBT is already moving below the 10 SMA, and MACD is about to register a death cross below the signal line. So I think one more red candlestick as sizable as this one would make our MACD cross below the signal line. And when that happens, that's not going to be the pair that we want to see if we are planning to trade or enter a new position on MBT. All right. We're not going to check the 4-point criteria because we all know it's a red candlestick. It closed below the VWAP of 71.38. It's a red volume bar. We already know that. But let me just show you for what it's worth. the trade and volume distribution chart of MBT. So here is the dominant range. It's between 70.6 all the way to 72. It's in favor of the sellers. Okay, now if you have had the MBT since May 20, that was the day when the conditions of the 10 SMA and MACD combo were realized. If you have had MBT since May 20 and MBT dropped at 70.60, if your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, just hold your position. Don't average down. Don't buy just yet. Because if this decline continues and it hit your trailing stop loss and you disobeyed my advice of telling you not to top up, but you did top up, that only means that you're going to sell at a bigger loss once your trailing stop loss is hit. Okay? So this is the big difference between what most stock market mentors teach, especially those who are only uh, teaching their clients about long-term investing. They always consider dips as buying opportunities. They could be, but not all the time. Here's the logic. Yes, we are seeing a red candlestick on MBT. Technically, you can say it's cheaper now. But what if there's a high probability for this cheapness to continue? Would you hurry in buying MBT right now? Or you would wait for this quote-unquote cheapness to settle down, to die down, so you could get it at a much, no, not much, but you could get it at a cheaper price. At a cheaper price. That's the logic of not translating every single dip as a buying opportunity. Okay, and that's what I'm teaching you here. Not because you saw, not because you're seeing a red candlestick does not mean you should buy right away. No, you have to let the dust to settle down first. Okay? All right, now. So I showed you the trade and volume distribution chart. I am bearish on MBT. For those of you who are planning to enter a new position, no, this is not the time yet. Wait for MBT to settle down. How would you know if it's ready, if it's logical already to enter a new position? Well, first, are the conditions of the 10 SMA and MACD combo already true? If they are, you got a buy signal. But if they are not yet, but the 4-point criteria that we're monitoring are all present, then you can preempt the satisfaction of the conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combo, and you can do a test buy if those 4 points are present. What are those 4 points again? The last price should be green candlestick. The last price should be higher than the VWAP. We should be seeing a volume bar that is green and at least higher than the 50% of its 10-day volume average. And lastly, the dominant range should be closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Got it? Okay, let's continue. Last stock in the list, we have PXP. PXP closed today at 8.29. Support is at 6.78. Resistance is at 10.05. It's already moving below. Is it already moving below? Let's see. No, it's not yet moving below the 10 SMA. The 10 SMA's position is at 8.27. Last price is at 8.29. So there you go. It's still moving above the 10 SMA. And MACD is still moving above the signal line. So if you have had PXP for a short-term trading since, let's see, since April 24 or April 23, I suggest that you hold your position if your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, but do not top up. Don't top up yet. PXP is in a consolidation mode. So this consolidation mode has been here for over a month already, as you can see also on the volume. Okay, there's some flimsiness on the volume of PXP within that duration from the last week of April up to this day. So as long as it's moving above your trailing stop loss, just hold it. Don't sell too early in the game, but don't top up also, not yet. Okay, now for the new entrants, Does it mean you can buy or enter a new position on PXP on Thursday? No, not yet. Not yet. Why? Perhaps you would like to tell me the 10 SMA is already, the price is still above the 10 SMA and MACD is still above the signal line. Oh, yes, they are. However, how about the 4 points that we are monitoring? Are they all present? You're seeing a red candlestick, not a green one. You're seeing a red volume bar, not a green one. Okay, how about the trade and volume distribution chart? So here's how it looks like. And it's quite a challenge to identify the dominant range here because it looks like there's not a single dominant range. It looks like there's one, two, or three dominant ranges. And it closed today at 8.29. And where is that 8.29? 8.29 is closer to the intraday low, somewhere here. So the dominant range here is between 8.2 to 8.3. Okay, so it's in favor of the sellers still. And then there's another dominant range between 8.4 to 8.5. And then there's another one between 8.68 to 8.84. But here's the one that caught my attention, this 8.2 to 8.3, since that's where the price closed on Tuesday. So that's in favor of the sellers. I will give the point to the bears in this case. So I am bearish on the trade and volume distribution chart of PXP also. So new, for those of you who are planning to become new entrants on PXP, please hold your horse for now. Okay? Don't jump the gun yet. Alright, so wait for the appearance of those 4 points. Once they are present, then you have then a data-driven license to do a test buy on PXP. You got to be strict in following these methodologies that I have been teaching you, okay? Because this will help you not only become a disciplined short-term trader, but also a systematic one. You have to stick with the process, with the methods. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense listening to me every single day. I record these videos every single day, and almost every day, not almost, but every time, I am emphasizing the exact same things because I want to marinate your eardrums into these methodologies that I have been teaching you. I want a day to come when you can already decide on your own, even if they will make you face a blank wall. All right? I do hope, and I will do my best for that day to come uh, for you. Now, if you have some follow-up questions regarding this video already, although I tried my very best to explain things in layman's terms, please do ask in our private clients forum. There will be a dedicated thread for this video in the short-term trading section of the private clients forum. And I'd like to segue also that I would recommend you, especially you subscribers, to attend my advanced seminar entitled Evergreen Strategy in Trading the Philippine Stock Market. Click the seminars section here on our website and then check if I have a schedule near your area. I have one in Angeles City on June 29, Baguio on July 6, Cebu City on July 13, Davao on July 27, Iloilo on August 3, Cavite on August 10, and more. I think I'll have one in CDO, Makati, I don't know. Just keep on refreshing this seminars page for the new ones whenever there's one. Okay? It's important that you attend the advanced seminar because it's all the more that you will be able to appreciate and understand the processes and methodologies that I have in my personal trading. Okay? I think we will have a more effective uh, teaching environment whenever we learn from each other, whenever I get the chance to teach you in person and you getting the chance to ask in person as well. Okay, and that's the reason why I limit each event up to 30 people only in the room so that I could accommodate as many personal questions as possible. All right, so there you go for the top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for June 4 in preparation for the next trading day on June 6, not June 5. All right. Again, my name is JC de Guzman, and have a great day.